The Queen of Granada, by M. Riff. Chapter 50, The Aunt. She glanced at Tessa and added, "My aunt in Copenhagen always says, if you don't like your life, change it." The very day our school principal visited our house, I went to a travel agency to explore my options. I asked the lady behind the desk for a one-way ticket to Granada. Tessa smiled and inquired, "How did you decide that Granada was the end of the world?" Instead of directly answering, Rita paused for a moment and then asked, "Do you believe there's some kind of order behind coincidences?" Tessa responded, "One of my teachers is a big fan of chaos theory. He thinks science often rejects what it can't explain. He once said that before the invention of telescopes and microscopes, humanity had narrow perspectives. We've since broadened our horizons, both in the micro and macro worlds. So, my answer to your question is, yes, I believe in the connection behind the coincidences. There is much more to the universe than can be seen and heard with eye and ear." Rita, almost speaking to herself, reflected, "The first time I ever heard of Granada was at a pizza place in Copenhagen. The owner, a friendly guy, was from Granada. He had a huge poster of the Alhambra on his restaurant wall. Later, at the travel agency, I saw another Alhambra poster. Now here I am on a bus to Granada, following the trail of these coincidences." Tessa was left speechless. Rita reminded her of a butterfly swept up by a storm. Tessa's family, on the other hand, had always been rational thinkers, and she felt they'd fallen prey to coincidences. Her brother was confined to a psychiatric ward for failing to make sense of the rational world. Her mother had drowned herself in alcohol and ultimately ended her life. Overnight, her father lost the ability to communicate and use his limbs. To understand the meaning behind it all, Tessa had chosen to study psychology. But her textbooks were firmly rooted in rational thinking, filled with solutions she had to memorize to reproduce for exams. Although a few teachers dared to question the contents of the textbook, they did so cautiously, as if they were up against a secretive organization guarding the school's core principles.